when you are tired of waiting, when the hours feel heavy, and the silence feels louder than sound, this is the moment to speak, not with strain, not with pleading, but with the calm authority of one who knows that unseen forces are already in motion. For waiting is not a punishment. It is often the space in which alignment is perfected. You are not delayed, you are being prepared. There's a rhythm to life that does not answer panic but responds instantly to certainty. When you grow weary, it is not because nothing is happening but because some profound is rearranging itself beyond the reach of your physical senses. The unseen always moves first. The seed breaks open in darkness long before the sprout appears in the light, and no seed ever doubts the wisdom of the soil. Speak this now, not as hope, but as recognition. I am closer than I think. The distance I imagine is an illusion created by the mind when it forgets the laws that govern creation. What belongs to me cannot miss me. What is aligned with my nature cannot bypass my door. The moment I release the strain of waiting, the doors swing open of their own accord. For effort is not the same as power. Power is stillness infused with certainty. Power is the quiet knowing that what is meant for you is already aware of your address. There is a divine intelligence that moves without hurry and without delay. It does not rush, yet it never arrives late. When you feel tired, it is often because you have been trying to push the river instead of allowing it to carry you. The river knows its destination. Your task has never been to force the current, but to float with trust, to align your inner speech with the outcome you desire, and to let your words become agreements rather than requests. Every word you speak is a command to the unseen, and every command spoken in faith is executed with precision. When the mind says, "How much longer?" gently replace it with, "It is happening now." When the heart feels heavy, remind it, "I am supported by laws that do not fail." Fatigue often comes from resisting the present moment, from arguing with the timing instead of trusting the orchestration. But timing is not something you wait for. It is something you align with. The moment your inner world matches the reality you seek, time collapses, distance dissolves, and the path clears effortlessly. You are closer than you think because desire itself is evidence of fulfillment in motion. Nothing is placed within you that cannot be expressed through you. The very longing you feel is the echo of a promise already issued. Life does not tease, it fulfills. The universe does not tempt, it delivers. What feels like waiting is often the final refinement of belief, the moment where faith is asked to stand without proof. And it is here, in this quiet threshold, that miracles accelerate. Speak now with the authority of alignment. I release the need to see the whole path. I only need to know the next step, and even that is revealed at the perfect moment. I do not chase, I attract. I do not beg, I allow. I do not force, I expect. Expectation is the highest form of faith, because it assumes arrival as inevitable. When you expect, you send a clear signal to life that you are ready to receive without resistance. There is a subtle language spoken between your consciousness and the field of infinite possibility. It is not spoken in words alone, but in feeling, assumption, and inner imagery. When you feel tired of waiting, check not the calendar, but your inner conversation. Are you rehearsing delay, or are you rehearsing fulfillment? The unseen responds not to what you want, but to what you consistently assume to be true. Assume closeness, assume movement, assume resolution. The moment you do, the field reorganizes to match your certainty. Rest is not giving up, rest is trusting the process. When you stop gripping the outcome, you allow the intelligence greater than your conscious mind to take over. And it knows shortcuts you could never plan. It knows connections you could never arrange. It knows how to bring together people, places, and events with elegance and ease. Your only work is to remain in agreement with the end, not to manage the means. Say this, when the waiting feels heavy, I am not behind. I am exactly where alignment is complete. I am not forgotten. I am remembered by life itself. I am not overlooked. I am being positioned. For fatigue often signals that the old way of striving is dissolving, making space for a new way of receiving. You are not meant to carry what is designed to arrive effortlessly. Energy moves where attention rests. If your attention rests on absence, absence multiplies. If your attention rests on fulfillment, fulfillment rushes in to meet you. This is not philosophy, it is law. The law does not ask how long you have waited. It only asks what you are assuming now. And now is the only moment with creative power. The past cannot create. The future is shaped by what you assume in this instant. When you speak from certainty, the body relaxes, the breath deepens, and the nervous system shifts from anticipation to reception. This shift alone alters the signal you emit into the unseen. What once felt distant begins to feel inevitable. What once seemed blocked begins to flow. You may not see immediate evidence, but evidence is never the cause, it is the effect. Your inner alignment is the cause, and causes always precede visible results. You are closer than you think because the final steps are often invisible. The most critical movement happens behind the scenes. Conversations you have not heard, decisions made in rooms you have never entered, impulses arising in others that draw them toward you without knowing why. Life is arranging its elf in your favor in ways your mind could not design. Trust is not passive, it is the most powerful form of participation. Let go of the belief that effort equals worthiness. You are not rewarded for exhaustion, you are rewarded for alignment. Ease is not laziness, it is mastery. When something is truly yours, it arrives with a sense of recognition rather than relief. Relief says, it's over. Recognition says, of course. Train yourself to expect the of course feeling, the quiet certainty that what arrives could not have arrived any other way. When impatience arises, bless it, for it signals that you are ready. Readiness often feels like restlessness because the old identity is shedding. You are stepping out of the version of you that waited and into the version of you that receives. This transition can feel uncomfortable, but discomfort is not denial, it is expansion. Stay with it. Do not retreat into doubt at the threshold of fulfillment. Speak to life now with calm authority. I am aligned with my good. I allow it to come through channels I do not need to control. I trust the intelligence that governs all outcomes. I am closer than I think, because closeness is a state of consciousness, not a measure of time. And as you speak this, feel the truth of it settling into your body, calming your thoughts, softening your expectations into knowing. The waiting ends not when the outer world changes, but when your inner world shifts from questioning to certainty. In that moment, the unseen accelerates. Time bends. Coincidence multiplies. Doors open without force, and what arrives does so naturally, as though it had been on its way all along. Because it has, remain here, in this quiet authority. Let your words be few, your knowing be deep, and your trust be unwavering. You do not need to convince life. Life already agrees with you. You only need to agree with yourself. And when you do, the distance you imagine dissolves, revealing that you were never far at all. And now remain with this understanding, because when you stop struggling against the moment begins to serve you. There is a hidden strength in quiet expectancy that outperforms effort every time. When you are tired of waiting, it is often because you have been listening to the voice that measures progress by appearances alone. That voice knows nothing of the invisible architecture being assembled for you. It knows nothing of the subtle rearrangements occurring in consciousness, the energetic agreements being signed long before matter responds. Silence is not empty, it is full of preparation. Speak gently but firmly. To your own awareness, I do not need proof to proceed in confidence. Proof follows belief, never precedes it. The universe is not withholding, it is responding with precision. What seems slow is simply exact. Exactness feels like delay only to the impatient mind, but the soul recognizes exactness as mercy. Because what arrives before you are aligned becomes a burden instead of a blessing. Timing is protection as much as it is promise. There is a point in every manifestation where the impulse to give up appears strongest. This is not coincidence. This is the moment just before alignment locks in. Energy always tests consistency before completion, not to punish, but to confirm. Will you return to doubt? Or will you stand still in knowing? The moment you refuse to collapse inward, the moment you choose trust over fatigue, the final resistance dissolves. The unseen responds instantly to inner decisions. Say this inwardly. When your patience thins, I am not waiting anymore, I am allowing. Allowing is active. It is the decision to stop contradicting your own desire. Every time you rehearse absence, you send mixed instructions. Every time you affirm certainty, you clear the channel. The universe does not require repeated pleading, it requires clarity. Clarity is calm. Clarity is neutral. Clarity does not rush. You are closer than you think because distance exists only in perception. In truth, all things exist now, waiting for the signal of acceptance. The moment you assume something is done, your nervous system shifts into familiarity. And familiarity is the doorway through which experiences enter. The unknown resists you. The familiar welcomes you. Make the outcome familiar in feeling, and life has no choice but to mirror it. Fatigue often comes from trying to deserve what is already yours. There is nothing you must prove. Worthiness is not earned, it is recognized. The instant you stop negotiating your value, you remove the final obstacle. Life does not respond to justification, it responds to assumption. Assume you are chosen, assume you are supported, assume you are met halfway and more. The field of intelligence around you is sensitive to your inner tone, not your spoken affirmations alone, but the emotional undertone beneath them. When your tone shifts from effort to expectancy, the response is immediate. Expectancy is relaxed. Expectancy breathes easily. Expectancy does not scan the horizon anxiously. It knows arrival is certain and therefore has no need to watch the clock. When you are tired of waiting, sit with the feeling instead of fighting it. Ask it what it is revealing. Often it reveals that you are ready to receive in a new way. A way that requires surrender rather than striving. Surrender is not resignation. It is agreement with a higher order. It is the decision to stop micromanaging outcomes and start cooperating with intelligence. Speak this now as an inner decree. I release the timeline. I accept the outcome. I trust the bridge between them. The bridge is being built even as I rest. Every moment of trust strengthens it. Every moment of doubt weakens it. Choose trust. Not because you are forcing positivity, but because you understand law. Law is neutral. Law responds. There are moments when nothing appears to move, yet everything is shifting. The seed does not sprout the moment it is planted. It first dissolves, and dissolution can feel like delay, like loss, like nothingness. But dissolution is transformation in progress. If you dig up the seed to check its progress, you interrupt the process. Trust the soil. Trust the dark. Trust the intelligence that knows how to turn stillness into life. You are closer than you think because the final stretch is inward, not outward. The last adjustment is not in circumstance but in self-concept. The moment you see yourself as the one who receives easily, the world reflects the identity without resistance. Identity creates reality effortlessly. Effort belongs to identities that believe they must struggle. Let your inner speech become simple now. Simplicity is power. Complexity is doubt trying to justify itself. Say, it is done. Say it without tension. Say it without urgency. Say it the way you say your own name. Familiar, certain, undramatic. The universe responds to the undramatic assumption faster than to emotional intensity. Calm expectation moves mountains quietly. You may notice signs, synchronicities, subtle shifts. Do not chase them. Let them be confirmations, not requirements. The moment you require signs, you return to waiting. The moment you allow signs to pass without attachment, you signal confidence. Confidence accelerates outcomes. It tells life you are no longer negotiating. When tiredness appears again, greet it as a messenger rather than an enemy. It is reminding you to stop pushing and start standing. Standing in truth requires less energy than chasing proof. Proof always comes after alignment, never before. Align first. Rest in that alignment. Watch what rearranges itself. There is a deep intelligence listening to your assumption right now. It does not judge. It does not delay. It simply mirrors. Decide what you want, mirror, decide with finality. And once decided, stop revisiting the decision. Revisiting is doubt in disguise. Decision is creation. You are. Closer than you think because closeness is not measured in steps, but in resonance. The moment your inner state resonates with fulfillment, the outer state must follow. This is not optimism. This is structure. This is the architecture of reality. And it has never failed anyone who understood it. Remain in this knowing. Let the tiredness dissolve into calm assurance. Let waiting transform into quiet anticipation. Let anticipation soften into certainty. And stay here, not watching the door, but knowing it is already open. Stay with this frequency. Now, because the moment you stop asking when, you enter the state where now expands to meet you. There is a sacred fatigue that comes right before fulfillment. A tiredness that is not weakness but readiness. It appears when the soul has outgrown the habit of striving and is learning the art of receiving. Do not misinterpret this moment. You are not losing momentum. You are shedding resistance. What once required effort now asks for consent. Consent is powerful. Consent says yes, I allow life to be generous with me. Consent says I no longer argue with the goodness designed for my experience. When you consent inwardly, the outer world reorganizes with surprising speed. Things that seemed stuck begin to loosen. Paths you could not see reveal themselves without force. People think of you at the right moment. Opportunities move toward you with a sense of inevitability. This is not chance. This is alignment expressing itself. When you are tired of waiting, your mind may try to convince you that something has gone wrong. Gently refuse that story. Nothing is wrong. Something is ripening. The unseen does not operate on urgency, it operates on readiness. And readiness is not proven by action alone, but by inner neutrality. Neutrality says, I am fine now and fulfilled soon. It does not collapse into lack, nor does it cling to desire. It stands calmly in expectation. Speak this softly within yourself. I am safe in the pause. The pause is not empty, it is precise. In this pause, my belief settles. In this pause, my energy stabilizes. In this pause, my desire becomes certain rather than emotional. Emotional wanting creates waves. Certain knowing creates currents. Waves crash and recede. Currents carry you all the way to shore. There is a difference between wanting and knowing. Wanting reaches forward anxiously. Knowing rests backward confidently. When you lean back into knowing, life leans forward to meet you. This is balance. This is cooperation with law. You were never meant to strain against the universe. You were meant to move with it. You are closer than you think, because the last movement is internal recognition. Recognition feels quiet. It does not announce itself loudly. It feels like a sigh, like something clicking into place, like the end of an argument you did not realize you were having. When recognition happens, the body relaxes, and the field responds instantly. Matter follows mind with obedience. When the mind is settled, do not be fooled by appearances that suggest nothing is happening. Appearances lag behind decisions. Inner decisions ripple outward invisibly before they become visible. If you could see the orchestration underway, you would not question the timing. You would marvel at the precision. Trust grows when you understand that intelligence far beyond your conscious awareness is managing the details. Let go of the belief that persistence means repeating the same effort. Persistence can also mean staying loyal to your assumption despite sensory evidence. Sensory evidence is always outdated. It reflects yesterday's thoughts, yesterday's beliefs, yesterday's emotional tone. Today's decision has not yet reached the surface, but it is already shaping tomorrow's reality. Say this now with calm authority. I do not need to hurry what is certain. I do not need to chase what is aligned. I do not need to force what is already moving toward me. These words are not affirmations, they are acknowledgments. Acknowledgement shifts you from seeker to receiver, and receivers attract naturally. When you stop waiting emotionally, life stops delaying physically. Emotional waiting says it is not here yet. Emotional presence says it is unfolding now. Presence collapses time. Presence brings the future into the now by removing resistance to its arrival. This is why peace is such a powerful creative state. Peace signals readiness without desperation. You may notice the urge to check, to look for signs, to measure progress. Smile at that urge and let it pass. Measuring is a habit of doubt. Knowing does not measure. Knowing allows. The moment you stop monitoring, the manifestation accelerates, because you are no longer interfering with the process through anxious observation. There is an elegance to how life delivers what matches your state. It rarely arrives in the way you planned, but it always arrives in the way that fits you best. Control narrows the channel. Trust widens it. When you trust, you allow more routes, more possibilities, more surprising alignments. Life loves wide channels. You are closer than you think because the gap between desire and fulfillment is bridged by acceptance. Acceptance does not mean settling. It means agreeing with the present moment while expecting transformation. It is the calm confidence that says, this is fine now, and it is improving. Improvement accelerates when you stop resisting what is. When tiredness whispers, answer with compassion, rest now. Receiving requires less effort than seeking. Let your nervous system calm. Let your breath deepen. Let your thoughts slow. A calm system is a magnetic system. It signals safety, and life responds to safety with abundance. Everything you want responds to the version of you who is not trying to get it, but ready to have it. Readiness feels grounded. It feels stable. It feels patient without strain. Stay here. This state is the doorway. You are not behind. You are in. Late. You are not overlooked. You are exactly at the point where alignment replaces effort, and from this point, things move quickly, quietly, and naturally, as though they had been waiting for you to stop waiting. Remain in this inner posture. Let the knowing deepen. Let the expectation soften into certainty. And stay present, because what is coming does not need to be chased. It only needs to be welcomed. Allow this knowing to settle even deeper now, because when the mind finally rests, creation speeds up. There is a mysterious law at work that answers calm conviction faster than emotional insistence. Emotional insistence still carries the vibration of lack, while calm conviction carries the vibration of ownership. Ownership does not ask when, it assumes arrival. And assumption is the language the unseen understands fluently. When you are tired of waiting, remind yourself that waiting is a habit, not a requirement. It is a posture the mind adopts when it believes fulfillment exists somewhere else. But fulfillment is never somewhere else. It is always emerging from where you are. The outer world is not ahead of you. It is responding to you. The moment you stop leaning forward into the future, the future leans back into the present. Speak now from this place of settled authority. I withdraw my energy from impatience. I reclaim it as certainty. Energy reclaimed becomes momentum. Momentum does not feel rushed, it feels smooth. It feels like being carried instead of climb. When you are carried, you arrive without exhaustion. There is an unseen conversation taking place between your inner state and the circumstances aligning around you. Every thought you linger in is a vote. Every feeling you indulge is an instruction. Life does not choose for you. It reflects you. Reflection is instant, but manifestation has stages. Trust the stages. Do not interrupt them with doubt disguised as logic. You are closer than you think, because the final stage before visibility is often neutrality. Not excitement, not desperation. Neutrality. Neutrality says, I know this is mine, whether I watch it or not. And because neutrality removes resistance, it clears the fastest path. This is why people often receive what they desire the moment they stop obsessing over it. Obsession tightens the grip. Neutrality opens the hand. When fatigue rises, let it teach you something valuable. You were never meant to carry this alone. You were never meant to calculate every outcome. There is a larger intelligence eager to take over once you stop interfering. Interference looks like overthinking, second-guessing, replaying timelines, and comparing progress. Release these habits gently. They belong to an old way of creating. Say this now, slowly and with ease. I am supported by an intelligence that does not forget me. I am guided by laws that do not fail me. I am carried by momentum already in motion. Feel how the body responds when you speak this, not as hope, but as truth. Body always knows when something is true. It softens, it opens, it aligns. You do not need to remind life of your desire. Once stated clearly in consciousness, it is recorded. Repetition is only needed when doubt interrupts the signal. When certainty is present, silence is more powerful than repetition. Silence says, I trust the process enough to rest. And rest is the signal that tells the unseen you are ready. There is a subtle shift that happens when you stop asking for reassurance. Reassurance seeking keeps you in the role of one who waits for permission. But creation does not require permission. It requires agreement. Agreement is inner alignment with the outcome as inevitable. When inevitability is assumed, resistance dissolves. You are closer than you think because the distance you feel is emotional, not real. Emotion compresses or expands time. Anxiety stretches it. Peace collapses it. Choose peace, not because you are giving up desire, but because you understand the mechanics of fulfillment. Peace accelerates because it removes friction. When the mind tries to count days, gently bring it back to this moment. This moment is fertile. This moment is creative. This moment contains all the power you need. The future is built from moments that are trusted, not from moments that are rushed. Trust this one, and it will carry you forward effortlessly. There's a confidence that does not announce itself. It does not need to convince others. It does not even need to convince the mind repeatedly. It simply is. Cultivate this quiet confidence. It is magnetic. It rearranges circumstances without drama. It draws solutions from unexpected directions. Speak again inwardly. I'm already in motion with my good. The movement may be invisible, but it is precise. Precision does not hurry. Precision arrives exactly on time. What is meant for me is moving toward me now, responding to who I am becoming, not who I used to be. Be patient with the version of yourself that is learning to trust differently. Old patterns dissolve slowly, but once they dissolve, they do not return. You are not going backward. You are shedding habits that no longer serve the reality you are stepping into. This shedding can feel like emptiness. But emptiness is not loss, it is space. Space is where new things enter. You are closer than you think, because the moment you stop resisting the now transforms. Resistance delays. Acceptance accelerates. Acceptance says, this moment is not my enemy. This moment is my ally. And when the moment becomes your ally, everything in it begins to cooperate. Let go of the idea that fulfillment must arrive with noise and drama. Often it arrives quietly, naturally, as though it had always been part of your life. This is the sign of true alignment. Struggle leaves a residue. Alignment feels clean. It feels obvious in Hindi. GHT. Stay here, in this clean expectation. Let the body relax into trust. Let the mind rest in certainty. Let the heart remain open without strain. This is the state that allows what you want to recognize you as ready. You are not waiting anymore. You are standing in allowance. And allowance is the final doorway